Hello all. Today let's try to solve a problem. The scenario is there is a queue of people waiting to board a boat. However, the boat has a weight limit of 250 kilograms. So there may be some people who cannot board the boat. Now we need to write a query to find the name of the last person that can fit on the boat without exceeding the weight limit. Let's say we have person 1 whose weight is 100, person 2 80, person 3 let's say again 100. So first person is allowed to board the boat because his weight is 100, which is below 250. Now coming to second person, his weight is 80. After he boards the boat, the combined total of the weight is 180, which is allowed because it is still under 250. When third person tries to enter, the weight becomes 280, so which is not allowed. The person 3 is not allowed to board the boat. Now our answer would be P2, since he is the last person who is allowed to board the boat. Let's try to create a table and write a query to get the solution. Are the syntax ready for this? So our syntax would be create table schema name dot table name, but I have already selected the schema here, so I'm not putting the schema name. So my first column is person ID, which is unique to each person. The second is person name, weight of the person, and his position in the queue. Let me create this table. It already exists. Let me drop and create that again. Yeah, it is successfully dropped. Now let's create this. Yeah. Now we have to insert some data into this table. The syntax for the same is insert into table name, and we need to give the list of columns where we need to insert the data. When we are trying to insert the data into all columns, we need not mention this part, but if we are trying to insert the data into specific columns, we need to give the list of those columns. So next, the values that we are giving, it is a keyword, and this will be the first row. Person ID will be 1, name will be ABC, weight will be 60, and his turn to board the boat is 2. The more rows that we want to insert, we have to separate it with a comma and give this set of values. Let's try to insert this. Yeah, which got inserted successfully. To view this data, we should use select statement, which is select star from the table name, which is select star from queue. These are the records that we have inserted. Now my approach to solve this problem would be, I'll order this table based on the queue position. I'll bring the first person who is boarding the boat at the first place, and I'll create a running total out of it. So what I'm trying to say is, so like this has sorted my table based on the queue position. So the first record is person 1 who is entering the boat. Now what I'll see what is the weight of the first person. It is 70, he is allowed. Second person 60, the combined weight is 130, even this is allowed. The third person is 80, though the total weight now is 210, which is allowed. When fourth person is trying to enter the boat, which it exceeds 250, the combined total. So like what do we need here to find the last person? We want some uh, column like or a value which gives the total weight in the boat. For that we can create running total. So at first record it will give 70, in the second record it will give 70 plus 60, third record it will give 70 plus 60 plus 80, and so on. So let's try to create that. So we are trying to create the running total. The logic for this, we can use the window function sum of weight over order by queue position. So like based on this, it will continue the weight. Let's give it as WT from UA. See, this is our running total. So by looking at this, we can directly say that 330 is not allowed. Our allowed weight would be 210 because it is less than 250. So the answer would be BCD. He is the person who is allowed to board the boat at the last. So I will now fetch this person. What I'll do, I'll filter first three records because these are the people who is allowed to board the boat. Our select statement here will become the table source table for us now. Now, first thing I would do is I'll alias this table, check it through an error, where the running total. I want to see only till 250. If it is exceeding 250, I will not consider these records. And now I want only the third record, the last person. So we can sort this column running total in descending. So this 210 would be on top. I will limit the number of rows to 1. So it will give the person who is last boarded. What about descending? Limit 1. BCD is the person. If you want to see all the people who has boarded the boat, we need to remove this limit and put this where condition where weight running total is less than 250. CD is the first person, ABC is the second, and BCD is the last person. So that's all for the video. Thank you.